Welcome to the video lecture series of Communication Engineering. Today's topic is classification of signals. So in this video, I will be telling you what do you mean by signal and how many categories of signals actually exist. So we'll discuss one by one. So let us begin. What is signal? If you have to define a signal, you can define that a signal is actually a single valued function of time. So for any signal, time plays a very important and independent variable. Time plays a role of an independent variable. It means if you would like to identify, then you can identify the signal value at every instant of time. Or you can say a function of one or more independent variables which contains some information that is known as a signal. Or signal is a function or data set which represent a physical quantity or variable. So in these manners you can explain the definition of a signal. See, in case of the electronics and telecommunication, signal refers to a time varying voltage, current or an electromagnetic wave, and these carries actually the information. And some of the signals you always encounter in your daily life like speech, voice, music, television signal, computer signal, image, videos. So there are so many signals which you would always observe in your daily life. And many signals are naturally generated, while some signals are synthetically generated, artificially generated. And some signals are desirable, while some are undesirable. See, sometimes you may find noise. Noise is a signal, but it is always an undesirable signal. So some types of signals may be undesirable. Noise is one example. Signals may be a one-dimensional signal, two-dimensional, three-dimensional, four-dimensional and so on. So if you talk about a one-dimensional signal, the example of one-dimensional. So the example of one-dimensional signal is a speech signal or any music. You can give the example as speech signal. See, speech involves what? It involves the transfer of information from speaker to the listener. Like I am speaking something, you are listening something. So this is a speech transfer. And this type of transfer of speech, it actually happens in three stages. First, production, then propagation and perception. So speech signal you can visualize with respect to the time, and at each and every instant of time you would be able to calculate the value. So this is a one-dimensional signal. If we discuss about the multi-dimensional, initially we'll discuss about the two-dimensional signal. Then image is a two-dimensional signal. You know that image can be represented in 2D. Later on you can represent it in 3D. For 2D, image can be represented in the form of the matrix. It means for each and every coordinate there will be some special values x comma y, column and rows. So image is a type of two-dimensional signal. Need not to discuss in detail, but you must be aware with how many dimensions actually exist in a signal. So you are going to say signal may be one-dimensional or multi-dimensional. Moving ahead, now let us discuss the classification of signals. Till now you are very much clear how to define a signal. Signals can be classified into number of categories, and here I have listed most of those categories. First is the continuous time and discrete time signal, real and complex signal, deterministic and non-deterministic signals, even and odd signals, periodic and aperiodic. Aperiodic is also known as non-periodic. Then energy and power signals, causal and non-causal signals. So now I will be discussing each and every type of signal in detail. So first we are going to discuss about the continuous time and discrete time signals. A signal is said to be continuous when it is defined for all instants of time. You can see in this particular diagram here a waveform is being plotted over here. On the x-axis time is being drawn, while on the y-axis amplitude is being taken. So continuous means signal is defined at this particular instant also, it is defined at this particular instant also. There is a continuity. It is defined for each and every time. And continuous time signal, this is represented by xt, right? Now let us discuss about the discrete time signal. So a signal is a discrete signal when it is defined at only discrete instants of time. It is represented by x of n. Here you can see in this particular diagram, here the signal is defined at the discrete instant of time, like this is defined at t, it is equal to t1, then at t2, then at t3. In between t1 and t2 signal is not defined. In between t2 and t3 signal is not defined. So I hope now it is clear to you what is continuous time signal and what is discrete time signal. And usually a discrete time signal is obtained from a continuous time signal, but there is a process, and the process is known as a sampling. So via sampling, a continuous time signal can be converted into a discrete time signal. So here for some fixed value of t, if you take n, it is equal to 0, 1, 2 up to so on, so x of t can be converted into a x of n, which is the discrete time signal by the process of sampling. We'll discuss in detail what is the sampling theorem, how the sampling process occurs in the coming video lectures. Next category is the real and complex signals. A signal xt, it is a real signal if its values are real numbers only. Means real signals have only real components. You can write down some of the examples as well. If you are writing ut, which is equal to 2 e raised to the power minus 3t, or another function you are writing vt, which is equal to, let us say, twice of sine pi t. So these are the real signals because they are having the real components only. And complex signal consists of two real signals, means one real part and other the imaginary part. If you are writing a signal, let us say ut, which is 8 times e raised to the power j omega t. If you expand this, then you will be getting that there are two components, one is real and other is the imaginary. So real part and imaginary part. This, it consists of real and imaginary components both. And complex signals have important role in the communication systems because it conveys both amplitude and phase. So this is the reason that the complex signals have a very important role in the case of the communication systems. Next is deterministic and non-deterministic signals. You must remember the term and you must be able to define the core term. A signal is said to be deterministic if there is no uncertainty with respect to its value at any instant of time. No uncertainty. It means deterministic signals are those signals which can be completely specified in time. It is always possible to compute its value. You can see in this particular waveform, you can calculate the value at any instant of time. The value is certain and you can calculate it. So this is the deterministic. And a signal is said to be non-deterministic if there is uncertainty with respect to its value at some instant of time. Uncertainty means it is uncertain, means it is random. So non-deterministic signals, they are random in nature. That is why they are also known as random signals. Here you can see in this particular waveform, this is a random signal, means non-deterministic signal. So sometimes it's very difficult to predict its value. So this is the non-deterministic one. Even and odd signals. Even signals has mirror symmetry with respect to the vertical axis, and even signals are also known as the symmetrical signals. And it must satisfy the condition that x of t which is equal to x of minus t. So this condition must be satisfied, and the function or the signal which satisfies this condition, that is the even signal. You can see here the waveforms, the curves have been plotted. Here you can see x of t, this particular portion, this is same as x of minus t, mirror image about the vertical axis, about the y-axis. Here also in the same curve, first one is the continuous time signal and the second one is the discrete time signal, but both the signals are the mirror image about the y-axis, so this is the even signal. Odd signals are also known as anti-symmetrical signals, and odd signals have mirror symmetry with respect to the origin, and it must satisfy the condition x of t which is equal to minus of x of minus t. Here the first curve is for the continuous time signal and second is for the discrete time signal. You can see there is a mirror image about the origin, same in the second case. So it is also known as a symmetrical and anti-symmetrical or asymmetrical signal. Now periodic and aperiodic signal. Periodic signals are those signals which repeats itself after a fixed time period, that is known as a periodic signal. As if you can see in this particular diagram, here a waveform have been plotted and you can notice that this waveform is repeating after a certain time interval, like after this particular time interval it repeats. So this is periodic in nature. That is why this type of signal is known as a periodic signal. And mathematical expression, periodic signal can be represented mathematically also. For a continuous time signal, it can be written as what? X of t which is equal to x of t plus capital T. So what is this capital T? This is the time period. While for discrete time signal, it can be represented as x of n which is equal to xn plus n. Discrete time samples, right? So this is the periodic, and the signal which is not periodic in nature, which is not going to repeat after a certain time interval, after a particular time interval, that is aperiodic or non-periodic. So signal which does not satisfy the condition of periodicity is known as non-periodic or aperiodic. Here you can see a signal, a waveform is being plotted over here in this particular diagram, and you can see at 0 its value is 1 and after that it retains 1. So you are not going to identify its time period, the periodicity. It means this is non-periodic or aperiodic signal. And for continuous time and discrete time signals, the mathematical expressions via which it can be represented, it has been given over here. Means equality, it is not equal. So it means you have to identify, you have to remember the signal which repeats itself after a certain time period. Certain means that time period must be fixed, that is periodic, otherwise it is non-periodic. Next is the energy and power signals. First, the energy signal. A signal is said to be energy signal when it has non-zero and finite energy. And non-periodic signals are the energy signals. Non-periodic signals, you must remember. And energy signals are the time limited. And if you calculate the power of energy signal, then the power of energy signal is equal to 0. Energy of any signal you can calculate by integration minus infinity to infinity x square t into dt. So here you can see this particular waveform, the curve which is being plotted over here. You can see this is time limited from this point to this point, and this is non-periodic. So this is the case of energy signal. Next is the power signal. So a signal you can say that is a power signal if it has non-zero and finite power. At the same time, if you calculate the energy of a power signal, that is infinity. And power signals can exist over finite times, means this is not time limited. It may be available for a finite time duration, and usually periodic signals are power signals. You must remember how to calculate the power of any signal. So the formula you can note it down. Power of any signal can be calculated. Limit t tending to infinity 1 upon 2t integration minus t to t x square t into dt. In this particular waveform number 2, you can see this particular signal, this is not time limited. It varies from minus t to t. There are so many rectangular pulses, and you can calculate the power by using this particular formula, and you must remember that this is it is a practical periodic signal, right? So in this manner you can explain the energy and power signals. Now next and last category of the signal is causal and non-causal signals. See, there is a very thin line in between causal and non-causal. Sometimes you may heard one more term, anti-causal, causal, non-causal and anti-causal. So here causal signals are signals which are zero for all negative time. Means for all values of t which is less than 0, the signal is 0. It means the signal does not start before t is equal to 0, right? So in this manner you can explain the causal signal. Non-causal signals means response of that needs to start before the excitation. So you can say a continuous time signal xt, it is non-causal if and only if it is 0 for all values of t greater than 0. Means the signal xt starts before t is equal to 0. So this is 0 for all positive values of t, and causal, this is 0 for all negative values of t. So in this particular manner you can explain the causal and non-causal signals. Let me remind you, in this video we have discussed about what is signal and what are the categories of signal. The classification of signals we have discussed over here. Thank you so much for watching this video.